Welcome to Viterbo's EDUC 650 Content Area Reading. My name is Carrie Schultz and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. Wanted to remind you that our online dates run from June 5th to July 31st, 2017, and we'll be meeting in Green Bay on July 10th, 11th, and 12th. The location there is 3061 Allied Street, Suite A2. Make sure that you obtain the text subjects matter before our second week of the course. And there you will find underneath the course information, there is a forum called General Questions for Carrie. And that is a forum where you can pose any kind of question that you think will be of use to other learners in the course. Any specific and personal questions, please feel free to email me and message me directly. You can always contact me via email, and I typically get back to those emails very, very quickly within 24 hours, 48 hours on the weekends. If you text me, you can text me at any time between 10 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with that as well. But make sure to let me know who you are so that I can kind of individualize my answers for you in any kind of text format as well. So what I'll be doing here in this presentation is kind of going over a little overview of the course and the things that you should be expecting. I also will present a tentative schedule for the dates of our class. So our course overview, our objectives are listed here, as you can see. And reading instruction is a part of content areas. And many times the content teachers in middle school and high school lose sight of teaching skills and strategies that help learners find out more about the content. Sometimes middle school and high school teachers, their passion lies within the content, and their focus is sometimes lost on helping students to access that information because they're so focused and they have that passion within what they're teaching. The content areas are more focused in the middle school and high school, so adolescent knowledge is going to be important, as well as finding ways to reach all the learners through multiple intelligences. As a reading teacher, you need to be aware that your license will cover all grade levels, which may put some of you outside of your comfort zone when it comes to focusing in on the adolescent learner, just as emergent literacy may have put other teachers from the secondary classrooms out of their comfort zones, focusing on early literacy skills. Another aspect of content literacy in the middle school and high school is instilling study strategies as tests and assessments become heavier at those levels, as well as the use of textbooks. So we will be looking at that literacy connection to content reading, the adolescent learner and multiple intelligences, the importance of activating background knowledge and vocabulary, and study strategies. The online component expectations will be discussion forums, and we'll be doing those in many different types of activities. So readings for the class are going to be shared out in those discussion forums with particular focuses. Sometimes we'll be utilizing the strategies for content areas, such as coding the text and a strategy called Save the Last Word for Me. And some of the knowledge from the readings will be completed with journal, articles, assignments, and class reflections. The big projects and assignments will be a strategy presentations, the constructivist unit, and a final paper. And I will go over those within the next few slides as we continue through this course overview. So this is a tentative schedule for our course. In week number 1, there will be an introductions forum, and you'll be watching this course overview. And there will be a journal assignment on an article by David Pearson and James Hoffman called The 10 Principles for Teachers with 10 principles that teachers need to remember in their everyday teaching lives. And that is approximately 32 pages. In week number 2, we're going to dive into our text with some basic ideas of reading and readers. And there'll be a discussion forum which will revolve around using the strategy Save the Last Word for Me. And I will introduce that to you and explain how that should be run. In week number 3, the text info surrounds balanced literacy, and also tapping into struggling readers, and also looking at some reading research. There you will be participating in a discussion forum using a coding strategy. Week number 4, the focus of the text here is on content literacy with information on using workshops in the content areas, inquiry units, and book clubs in the content areas. And your assignment will be to turn in a reflection on this information from the text. Week number 5 is pretty open so that you can prep for the upcoming face-to-face days. I will provide you with information on text sets, which will be part of your constructivist unit, as well as formats for the strategy presentations and more information about the constructivist unit. Week number 6 brings us face-to-face in Green Bay. And each day we will learn 2 or 3 new strategies from your peers with the strategy presentations. And on our last day, Wednesday, we will be leaving that open for the sharing of our constructivist units. Week number 7 and 8 will be combined so that you can work on your final paper. And there will also be a presentation that covers information about textbooks and study strategies from our chapters 3 and 6, including a short reflection of that information. The strategy presentations. So these presentations are going to be short and sweet. They shouldn't be any longer than 10 minutes per strategy. And what you'll be doing is think about strategies that you use, ones that you've heard of, ones that you want to use, or something that is totally new that you just want to try out. Basically, you're going to choose 4 reading or note-taking strategies and 2 vocabulary strategies. And like I said, you can choose them from our text or you can find them from other resources. And over the course of our face-to-face days, everyone will be sharing a few of the strategies and presenting them to the class. These strategies can be geared towards any grade level that you work with so that they're applicable to your current situation, but also include some modifications that they could use either above or below the grade level that you're gearing it towards. A summary for each of these strategies should be included and focusing in on what content area you might use it in, the grade level you would use that strategy for, the importance of the strategy, when and how you're going to use it, whether it's going to be before, during, or after reading or the instruction. Also include some handouts and samples if that is something that you'd like to do. A template for the strategy presentation will be shared on the next page, and I will have that available prior to our face-to-face days so that you can prepare for those. So here's a strategy template. This is just a template that I'll be making available for your use. You do not have to use this template, but previous learners have found it to be useful in making sure that everything has been covered for their strategy presentations. I will have a sign-up sheet created using Google Docs where you can share the strategy you'll be discussing so that we don't have doubles of those. Choices can be from Chapter 5 of our text, like I mentioned, but are not limited to only that resource. So feel free to share and search from any source that you'd like. The constructivist unit will be the big presentation that you will do at the end of our face-to-face days. Even though this class is going to be more focused on the adolescent learner and what they need, I want you to create things that are going to be useful in your educational world. So basically the constructivist unit is where you're going to create or modify a content area unit that you can use in your classroom. When you're creating this unit, you'll need to think about it should be geared towards a content area. And you should include at least 3 essential questions. What are the objectives that you expect the students to come out of that unit understanding and knowing? Also focus in on a minimum of 6 vocabulary words that all students should thoroughly understand by the end of the unit. And any core background knowledge that you are going to ensure that all students know about before they dive into that unit. Your expectation is to create a presentation of some sort, whether it be a slideshow. I've had students use Prezis, any kind of other presentation method where you can share the ideas with the class. You will need to include resources beyond just a textbook for that content area. So you'll be creating a text set, and I'll be providing you with more information on this as well. But our text set is a collection of different resources that are going to help students understand and learn more about the focus of your unit. So these resources are a magazine article, a picture book, poetry, a website that they can access, a nonfiction book, trade books, and the trade books should be one that is going to be below grade level and one that is at grade level, and any other text that you would like to include, things such as reference books or graphic novels. And like I mentioned, I will go into more detail with this as we continue and get closer to those face-to-face days. So this is just a few samples from the text set portion of the Constructivist unit. And this is something, the text set is something that you can start creating pretty much right now if you'd like. And what I put on Moodle already is I created a folder for the Constructivist unit. So there is a text set example there, and also an excerpt about what text sets really are and what the uses are for text sets. So those of you who are worried that you're not going to be ready for it, you can start looking around right now and collecting the items that you would like to use for your text set. And if you notice, there's a table that you'll need to create and fill out, and also you'll need some kind of image of the text that you'll be using for your text set. And that will be something that you will share within the presentation on your Constructivist unit. So there is a final paper that will be part of your portfolio, and you might choose to also use your text set or your Constructivist unit for your portfolio piece as well. But your final paper is going to be 8 to 10 pages, double-spaced, Times New Roman, 6th edition APA format, where you're just going to describe the differences between reading as a concept and reading as a process, focusing in on the transition of readers from the elementary school to the middle and high school levels, and the importance of continuing that explicit reading strategy instruction to those secondary level students. Within this paper, I'd also like you to include an explanation of the research and significance of activating background knowledge, why that is important to do before you dive into any new unit, any new content, the importance of explicit vocabulary instruction, and using instructional reading strategies before, during, and after activities in the content area with the adolescent learner in mind. So your Constructivist unit and your strategy presentations can be focused on whatever grade level you teach, but this final paper should really be centered in on that adolescent learner. Because like I mentioned, as a reading teacher, you're going to need to be able to service students from preschool all the way through to a graduating student. The other assignments and activities that you're going to participate in, even though I've kind of covered many of these throughout this course overview, are going to be journal assignments, class reflections, the online discussion forums and face-to-face discussions that we'll have. All the readings from Subjects Matter. We'll be completing, when we are together on our face-to-face days, some jigsaw activities with excerpts and articles about the content areas and the adolescent learners. Also, there'll be some interactions and practices with instructional strategies and different presentations that I will be giving to you as well about vocabulary, textbooks, study strategies, adolescent learners, activating background knowledge, things of that nature. So this is just a very brief overview of what to expect in this class. Once again, if you have any questions that you feel would be for the good of the group, go ahead and add those underneath general questions for Carrie in that discussion forum. Otherwise, feel free to email me at any time, and I will always do my best to get back to you in a timely manner or find an answer for you. I look forward to getting to know all of you and meeting you in the middle of July. All right, have a great day.